Have you ever gazed up in a night sky illuminated by the silvery glow of the moon and wondered what it would be like if that celestial body simply vanished? Picture this: all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, the moon disappears. No warning, no gradual eclipse, just gone. What would happen to Earth, to our lives, and to the very fabric of humanity? You might be thinking, this is just a hypothetical question, but hold on to your thoughts. The consequences of such an event could be far-reaching and mind-boggling. If you stick around, I promise you'll uncover some shocking revelations and uncover truths that may even change the way you view the cosmos. The moon is not merely a beautiful sight in the night sky. It plays vital roles that most of us often take for granted. Let's dive into the immediate effects. First off, can you imagine the sheer chaos? The absence of the moon would eliminate its gravitational pull, leading to a sudden shift in the ocean tides. Without the moon, tides would still exist, but they would be significantly weaker, primarily influenced only by the sun. This means coastal ecosystems would be drastically altered. Imagine the effect on marine life. Species that thrive in tidal zones could struggle to adapt, leading to a massive disruption in our oceans. But the impact wouldn't stop at our coastlines. Have you ever wondered how the moon influences human life? From ancient cultures that worshipped lunar cycles to modern traditions that still recognize its significance, cultures have adapted to the moon's rhythms. Many farmers keep their planting and harvesting schedules in sync with the lunar cycles. Without the moon, would we encounter food shortages? Might societal structures shift as people scramble to maintain their way of life? Think about that for a moment. The loss of the moon would also reverberate through time. Days and nights as we know them would change. The lunar phases dictate not just the tides, but also the length of our days. With the moon gone, our planet would likely experience a more erratic rotation. According to scientists, Earth's axial tilt could become unstable. As a result, we could see longer days and nights, possibly lasting for weeks, leading to extreme temperature fluctuations. What happens when half of the Earth freezes, while the other half scorches? Survival becomes a pressing question. How would it feel to live in perpetual darkness or searing daylight? But that's not all the story has to tell. Just when you think it couldn't get more complex, let's consider the deeper effects on Earth's ecosystem. The moon plays a vital role in stabilizing Earth's axial tilt, which has significant implications for our climate. Without this gravitational anchor, Earth's tilt could fluctuate over geological timescales, resulting in dramatic climate shifts. Imagine a world where seasons change unpredictably, where summer could suddenly turn into winter overnight. Could our agriculture systems withstand such chaos? What would that mean for food production, economies, and global societies? Now, you're probably asking yourself, what can happen to the animals? Many wildlife species rely on the moon for navigation. Birds use it to migrate over long distances, sea turtles head toward the moonlight to find their way to the ocean, and various nocturnal creatures depend on its soft glow to hunt and navigate. What would their fate be in a moonless world? Would we see a rapid decline in certain species, disrupting the balance of entire ecosystems? Or would other species adapt, evolving new behaviors in the face of this sudden absence? Here's a thought: nature is resilient, but what would that resilience cost us? As we peel back the layers, let's take a moment to address the psychological and cultural implications. The moon has inspired countless works of art, literature, and folklore throughout history. Think of the poets, the musicians, and the dreamers who turned to its light for inspiration. Without the moon, how might our cultural landscape change? Would we lose something beautiful in the poetic fabric of our existence? Perhaps humans would find new symbols to clutch onto, or maybe we would be left in a void of creativity, struggling to replace what the moon once represented. Surprisingly, without the moon, we discover the night sky in a new light. With no moonlight casting shadows, the stars would shine brighter than we've ever known. Imagine gazing up at a blanket of stars, the Milky Way visible in incredible detail. It's almost poetic. While we may lose something, we gain an entirely different perspective. What kind of awe and wonder would that spark in humanity? Would we become even more curious about the universe beyond our reach? Now here's something unexpected. The moon affects Earth's magnetic field. Yes, that's right. This magnetic field protects us from cosmic radiation and solar winds. Without the moon's stabilizing effects on the Earth's rotation, the geomagnetic field could weaken, allowing more harmful radiation to penetrate our atmosphere. What would that mean for human health? Increased exposure to radiation could potentially lead to higher rates of cancer and other health issues. You might be wondering how fragile our existence ultimately is, tethered to the whims of celestial mechanics and cosmic design. Sliding into the unexplored territory of human behavior, let's pause for a thought. How often have you gazed at the moon, lost in contemplation? The moon often symbolizes calmness, serenity, and emotional balance. In a world without it, would we see spikes in mental health crises? The moon has even been linked to sleep patterns. Some studies suggest it might influence the quality of our rest. Imagine millions of people struggling with insomnia as nights grow disorientingly long or short. How deeply would our lives be impacted, and what resources would we need to cope with this unforeseen reality? Now, here's a mini hook that might just intrigue you further. Did you know that the loss of the moon would also impact space exploration? It has always served as a stepping stone for humanity's journey into outer space. The moon has been an essential part of our scientific endeavors. What if that pathway were shut off? What would this mean for the future of humanity's aspirations among the stars? As we delve deeper, you can't ignore the sheer chaos that would ensue on a societal level. Our architecture, our energy production methods, even how we construct cities could all shift dramatically. We rely on nighttime activities governed by the moonlight. In urban centers, many activities and industries thrive after sunset. How would this disruption affect businesses and the economy? Would humanity adapt, or would we see a regression back to a more primitive existence, struggling to find our footing in a bewildering new world? Don't forget to consider the technological advancements we've made. Spacecraft, satellites, telescopes, all of these rely on our understanding of the moon. You might be surprised to learn just how much of our technology has moon-related parameters built in. As those systems fail, how would we deal with the breakdown of our technological infrastructure? Navigational systems would begin to falter. Phone GPS, aircraft navigation, even marine travel would face enormous obstacles as they grapple with the new dynamics of a moonless night. Just when you thought you knew what to expect, let's pivot slightly and discuss the philosophical implications. The moon has been humanity's companion in the great cosmic drama for millennia. What does it mean for our sense of identity and place in the universe if it were to leave us? Would we feel more isolated or, ironically, more connected to the stars? Could this trigger a renaissance in philosophical thought, prompting a shift in existential understanding? A world without the moon might compel humanity to grapple with new questions about our origins and our ultimate fate. Now, here's something to consider before we transition to the next phase. Earth isn't just a planet. It's a complex, intertwined ecosystem of sorts. From fungi to humans, every organism plays a role, and each relies on a delicate balance. How would an ecological imbalance evolve without the moon's pull? The ripple effect could lead to the extinction of some species and the overpopulation of others. Our natural world, as we know it, could be radically transformed, evolving into a landscape that's both unrecognizable and hauntingly beautiful. As we approach the tipping point of our narrative, we're left standing on the precipice of an extraordinary change. The moon, that ancient fixture in our night sky, holds more significance than perhaps we ever recognized. Just what adaptations would society undergo to navigate this brave new world? Could we create artificial moons, innovate new technologies to stabilize our climate, or make peace with the shifting rhythms of nature? But I'll leave you with one more tantalizing question as we pause for now. If the moon were to disappear, could humanity rise to meet this cosmic challenge and emerge stronger, unlocking a deeper understanding of our place in the universe? The answers lie not just within the stars above, but also deep within ourselves. Stay tuned as we dive into the second part of this exploration, where we will venture even further into this captivating scenario and its far-reaching implications. As we peel back the layers of a moonless world, the urgent questions multiply, each revealing a new facet of our existence. Imagine, for instance, the astronomical community. Years of meticulous research, vast expenditures of wealth, and boundless passion have gone into understanding the moon and leveraging its unique characteristics for exploration beyond Earth. For decades, the moon has served as both a stepping stone and a laboratory in space exploration, an invaluable source of geological knowledge and a potential launchpad for journeys to Mars and beyond. With the moon's disappearance, the roadmap for interplanetary exploration becomes uncertain. Would scientists pivot their focus entirely to Mars or the distant asteroids? Or would we lose some of our impetus to explore altogether, crippled by the sudden loss of a key celestial partner? It's perplexing to consider how much the technological advancements we've made are intertwined with our lunar companion. From navigation satellites that monitor Earth's climatic changes to telescopes that peer deep into the cosmos, the absence of the moon might introduce gaps in our observational capabilities. If we were unable to monitor cosmic events or protect our planet from dangers in space, how would that change our approach toward future technologies? Moreover, the disappearance of the moon could trigger a cascade of changes in energy production and technology development. Ever since the rise of the Industrial Revolution, humans have adapted to nighttime activities, often relying on the moon's light to illuminate trade routes and urban spaces. Imagine the global energy demands skyrocketing, as families and communities suddenly find themselves dependent on artificial lighting to guide their way through darkness. Would we be prepared for the surge in energy consumption? Attempts to shift to alternative energy sources might ramp up, but the transition would not come without challenges. How would this supply and demand paradigm affect our economy and environmental policies as we race to meet basic needs? In exploring human adaptation to this cosmic upheaval, we must reckon with how societies might reconfigure their very fabric. Consider the effects of suddenly disrupted social routines. Traditionally, many cultures celebrate lunar festivals and observances that align with the moon's phases. Think of the harvest moon, Halloween, and countless other traditions that are woven into our lives. Without these points of connection, what new traditions might arise? Could society forge a deeper bond with the cycles of the sun, or perhaps even rediscover ancient celebrations rooted in starlight? As humanity grapples with such changes, we might also see a resurgence of ancient beliefs and observances based on the stars. Cultures around the globe have historically viewed the cosmos as a guide through life's challenges. With the moon gone, might people become more attuned to the stars for guidance, longing for celestial constancy in a newfound chaos? The potential revival of astrology and the rekindling of ancestral traditions could mark a fascinating cultural shift, ushering us into a deeper symbiosis with the universe, one that may present answers cloaked in ages-old mysteries. And then there's the intriguing relationship between the moon and human behavior. Multiple studies suggest that lunar cycles can influence human behavior, from increased energy levels and creativity to erratic mood swings and sleep patterns. Without the moon, what adjustments would we witness in public health and mental wellness? Would researchers delve into new studies to better understand how the absence of a lunar influence affects our psychological states? And what about sleep scientists racing to understand the implications of extended nights or fluctuating daylight hours? Also worth contemplating is the role of community and companionship. Instead of wandering through moonlit paths, would people find solace in close-knit gatherings? Perhaps local community ties would strengthen as we seek the comfort of shared experiences. Nighttime activities might transition to evening festivals or storytelling sessions, driving people to connect even more deeply. Just as the moonlight once illuminated the paths we traveled, our relationships may become the light guiding us through the darkness, a new source of hope in an uncertain time. Consider the world of art and literature, which has long drawn inspiration from lunar imagery. How would the void left by the moon influence artists, writers, and musicians? The loss of a constant muse could inspire creativity to flourish in other shapes or forms, pushing cultural expression to evolve. Without the lunar cycle as a dependable canvas, new art movements may emerge, giving rise to abstract interpretations of our place in the universe. Or might nostalgia for the lost moon encapsulate the artistic sphere, as creative souls address the cosmic absence with poignant reflections of longing? In a moonless landscape, what poetic truths might surface? The human experience has always been marked by the interplay of light and darkness. Without the moon guiding our paths, we might confront a profound philosophical journey of navigation, one that leads to existential questions about our place in the cosmos. Would we search for other meanings that spark wonder, strength, and resilience in a universe stripped of familiar celestial markers? Equally thought-provoking is the role of science. The loss of the moon could ignite new scientific inquiries, prompting researchers to uncover the mysteries of Earth's past and future trajectory. New academic disciplines might emerge focused on understanding how celestial influences shape ecological, atmospheric, and geological progressions. The natural world, too, would require detailed examination and long-term monitoring initiatives, with scientists striving to document the effects of unprecedented shifts in ecosystems and biodiversity. And let's not overlook our solar system's balance. With the moon's gravitational influence gone, could other celestial bodies shift their paths, altering the cosmic dance within our solar system? Would Mars become more accessible as a target for exploration or as a colonization goal, or would we encounter unforeseen hazards in navigating our asteroid belt? The delicate balance of celestial bodies is something we've relied upon for stability. Just as the removal of one piece from a finely tuned clock affects its operation, so too might the moon's absence unleash unforeseen consequences across the solar system. As humanity stands on the threshold of a paradigm shift, envisioning a world that has been reborn from the ashes of chaos could feel both daunting and enlightening. Each of us would be faced with choices: how to